thank you for joining me on Wilderness of the Monty. I'm at the Owens River, and if you look at my Rivers playlist, you'll see my clip, The Clumsy Exploration of the Owens River. I started way over there where the cows are off in the distance because I was trying to find a better route to something, I don't know. I ended up getting chased by cows and it was kind of scary. But now I just came where everybody goes. I'm gonna fish the single barbless section. I won't be fly fishing today because I broke my fly rod yesterday right after I did a clip where I fished the hydroelectric plant on Bishop Creek. I stumbled and snapped my fly rod. So I gotta order another fly rod. But I have my barbless jig and barbless lure box, so I have some options. So I'm just gonna go see what's going on. There's not a lot of people fishing out here, it's a Tuesday. And on this side of the river, it's only artificial. Lures, flies, barbless hooks may be used. And that's what I'm using. I'm using single barbless. I'm catch and release anyway. And it's windy out here today, which will keep a lot of fly fishermen probably off of the stream. But I'm gonna give this a shot. There's something. There's not a lot of good deep holes to hit. And I think I just got a rainbow. I'm gonna have to get my hand wet here somehow. And there he is, little guy. This isn't very good jig water. It's not very deep. It's not moving very fast. And this is kind of for a fly rod. So here's a good shot of what I'm dealing with. This stuff, the big fish will be along the edges of it, if not underneath it. So with the sun so high in the sky, the challenge for me is to run my jig right along as close as possible, because they're not going to venture out too far for something like that. Between that and these undercut banks, because the fish will be either out in the middle in that stuff, and I see a big patch right there with a deep run right next to it, so I'm going to try to run my jig up along that, or they're going to be along the undercut bank. So you gotta, this time of day I'm just fishing structure and I'm running my jig right through there. All right, I just had a big brown come out of the grass. Woo! He's nice, but I don't know if I can land him. I got this barbless hook. He came out of nowhere. Got him! Got him! Let me get down into the water. Whew. Big brown. I can get wet off this net. I've let him chill for a while, so he's good to go. Good, beautiful fish. Let's get him back in the water. And there he goes, right back out into that grass. He was hiding inside of that stuff, and he saw my jig, and I saw him come out and hit it. I was able to set the hook on this barbless jig I'm using, and it's all bent now. And with that, I just cast it upstream and was ripping it past this deep grass, and he just came out, man. Because there's a lot of this grass and this moss and stuff down there, and they can just hang out under the ledges. And I'd already fished this water, and I figured I'd give it another try coming back. And those browns will ambush. And that's why I use these jigs, man. I see a lot of fish, but it's the bigger fish that'll come out and grab this thing. And that fish just made my trip, baby. I had a rough trip, but don't mean nothing, not a thing, because I just caught me a nice brown trout. Bringing it up this channel right along the side of the bank, because I had another one come out from under the bank, and it was about a 12-incher. And I was just walking by, and I was soft tossing it and jigging it right along the bank, and he came out of the cover to hit. And you know, you don't get a lot of bites on this, but That you're not looking for a lot of bites. You're looking for the bite, the big bite. That's all you care about. That's all I care about. And those big trout will come out of this cover. They'll come out. You just got to get it close. Well, that was about an hour on the Upper Owens, and I think I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah, these 1/8 ounce jigs aren't ideal, and if my fly rod wasn't broken, I probably would have been using a woolly bugger or a beadhead or something. And I saw tons of smaller trout. They really weren't interested in my jig, and some of them would swipe at it. And then when that big one came up out of that growth, he had no doubt about it. He inhaled this thing. And that's what I usually am looking for with these big jigs, you know. Sometimes I'll get one bite. Today I got like 3 bites, but 2 were from small fish. One was that small rainbow, and the other one was that big brown. And you can't really, this river's not ideal for jigs. You pretty much need something lighter. But what I was doing is, I wasn't worried about the deep holes. I was looking at where the growth was, and I would skip it across the surface and then let it drop for a second and then pull it out. And that guy came up out of one of those little creases in between the growth. So that was awesome. Maybe I'll get home early for a change. I got here yesterday at around noon because I got a late start. And today I spent time talking to a couple of my viewers over at Sabrina, helped out a couple of ladies that were talking about backpacking, learning how, and I didn't get out here until like noon. But it's all good. I got a nice trout and I'm stoked. The Upper Owens is golden to me. Thank you for joining me on Wilderness with Amani.